Jackie Gleason's UFO house and the ongoing alien fascination.
You know, Jackie Gleason supposedly had an encounter with Nixon. That Nixon and Gleason were buddies, and they were drinking.
Really?
And
I did not know
It's a
this.
famous story that's disputed, but apparently,
Let's go with it, though.
Let's go with it.
Yeah.
Gleason apparently had said that Jackie Gleason and him were drinking, and Nixon was like, "You want to see a fucking UFO?"
No way.
Yeah, and he flew him to see wreckage, and they had frozen biological entities, and they got a chance to see these things that they had frozen.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So that must have been like early 70s at some point.
Something like that. And Jackie Gleason wound up having a house built in the shape of a UFO afterwards.
No
Yeah,
way.
that was for sale as recently as I think like a decade ago. See if you can find that
Where?
house.
In LA or something?
No, it's in upstate New York. But the house looks like a fucking UFO.
No
Like he had a
way.
UFO house built. Yeah, Jackie Gleason apparently was obsessed with UFOs after the fact.
No.
So this
What?
is yeah.
That-
Jackie
that looks
Gleason's
like a
UFO
cabin.
inspired upstate New York spaceship house.
No way.
Yeah. That was
Doesn't
his
that look like, and that picture makes it look bigger. Okay, that's serious.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
a fucking
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's two different buildings?
Oh.
Oh, he has
The
more
first
than
one's
one
like
of
the
them?
guest house.
Top, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Small building. And
Yeah, look at that
Yeah, that's the
fucking
guest
thing.
house, the other one.
Wild.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Jackie Gleason became a UFO freak.
Man, I'm going to do that after this. That's a pretty cool looking house.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Oh,
I
wish
wish
look
it was.
at that.
I wonder if it's still for sale.
That's
Entrance to
amazing.
the mothership. Woo!
I'm going to talk to my wife about this when I get
Yeah.
home. This is serious right here. Well, now you have this SIG Spear. So there's a lot of UFO stuff on this SIG Spear. So maybe this should be reserved for taking out the aliens when they come.
I don't want to take them out.
Well, if they attack you.
Listen, I don't think they're going to attack.
If they attack.
If they do attack, I think they could render you useless almost instantaneously.
But them too. They're kind of like, why wouldn't they just sit back and watch?
I think they're if
They're going
I
to pass right by.
If I had a guess, I mean, just the wildest of speculations, I would guess that every civilization reaches a point of technological proficiency when they're also dealing with these territorial warring tribes where they have the ability to literally destroy the earth. And that if this is a natural course of progression for intelligent beings, they get to this point, there's a transition where it gets very dangerous. And if I was from another planet and I was monitoring this, I would be there to make sure that they don't launch. That they don't, and that's the theme of the Mothership Comedy Club, is that the rooms are called Fat Man and Little Boy. And the reason why the rooms are called Fat Man and Little Boy is because that is a specific moment in UFO folklore when the aliens start arriving. After the detonation of those bombs, that's when you start seeing this massive uptick in sightings.
Really?
Yes. And interactions with fighter pilots and these different military bases that have nuclear programs where the bases get shut down and all the power goes off. Yeah, there's like,
That's wild.
yeah, it's heavy stuff. Because if you think that they are watching, that would make the most sense. That they see that we have nuclear power, we have the ability to blow ourselves up, and we detonate two
we did it.
bombs, and then they're like, okay, let's go monitor these assholes.
Let's go make sure that they don't do anything that's going to affect the
Seems
rest
like
of the
only
universe.
one country right now has them. Let's fucking specifically concentrate on them. And then they have sightings in the Soviet Union when the Soviet Union has the capabilities. And
No
yeah,
kidding.
there's a ton of documented sightings and these encounters that happen. And then
So
there's
beforehand,
also
there's not really anything.
very little, very little,
Really?
very well. I'm sure they've probably been visiting us if they do visit us.
Yeah.
I would imagine they've been visiting us forever. Like, look, they've got engines. Look, they've got guns. Look, they've got this. You know, it'd be fascinating to watch. Like, look at these territorial apes with nuclear weapons. Like, it's the time to watch.
Right now, they're probably just sitting back,
Yeah.
popping that popcorn and being like, oh, man,
Well,
it's
as
getting interesting now.
We're getting closer and closer to our fucking inevitable demise. Like, that's when the sightings are ramped up to the point where the Pentagon has to start talking about it.
And they are.
Yes.
In front of Congress.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
But no one pays attention.
No one pays attention.
It's like, let's go back to, TikTok and Instagram.
Well,
and
I mean, they kind of pay attention, but it's not. There's nothing that you could fucking put your fork into.
Right.
You know, it's like, what is it?
Exactly.
You know, like, why are they telling us about this? That's also, there's a lot of cynicism when it comes to, like, why is the government telling us about UFOs?
Like a distraction, you mean?
But what is it? Like, what are they telling us because they really have this information and they want to slowly leak it out because this is an inevitable contact moment and they want to prepare civilization, or is it just horseshit? Is it just they're distracting us, and this is how they, institute this drone program where they have this, anti-gravity device and they can move at insane rates of speed? I don't know. I mean, it's just guesswork.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You get to hear directly from these guys who've actually seen it, experienced it.
Yeah.
Hang out and talk with them for a little bit. Oh,
I've talked to quite a few now, that have seen these things and had these experiences. But the Bob Lazar one is uniquely compelling.
All right.
Uniquely compelling because Bob is without a doubt a brilliant guy, and he was a legitimate propulsions expert who it's been proven he worked at Los Alamos Labs, and they tried to hide that. They tried to lie about that and say that he wasn't, but he was on the employee roster. He has an intimate knowledge of the facilities. They took him. George Knapp took him on a tour of Los Alamos. He knew where everything was. He knew the people there. They knew him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild shit, man. Because if he's telling the truth, he says is not one that they've recovered, but multiple, and that one of them they think is really old, and they got it from an archaeological dig. They think that they recovered this thing in the ground.
That's movie stuff. I mean, you see that in movies, and we all watch it in movies and think it's science fiction, but there's a lot of science fiction that has come to fruition, from submarines to going to the moon to also space travel in general, flight, just flying.
Sure, all of it. Every
and we're just like,
Buck Rogers.
No big deal.
UFO sighting over California military base.
Did you see the
whistleblower?
I want to hear more conspiracies, Eddie. Let's go.
I'm saying.
I like Eddie.
You know what? Fuck the
half in
submarine.
bag, son.
Fuck the submarine.
You're not
dog.
into the Hunter Biden stuff, though? What's
No,
up
the
with
Hunter
that?
Biden stuff is
What about the
interesting.
UFOs?
UFOs, it's Project Blue
We
Beam.
used to
dog.
be all in on UFOs.
Dude, are you
Remember back
kidding?
in the
I was
day?
a UFO. Dude, I
Bro.
was the UFO.
Is there ice in there or no?
Yeah.
No, there's not. Oh, good. We don't have any ice.
Yeah, those ball ices are awesome.
Get some more ice? We'll get some more ice.
I got more whiskey here.
Do you remember when you and I first got into Zechariah Sitchin?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're convinced.
Hell yeah.
The Anunnaki.
You know how I got
were
into it? You know, I remember how we got into it because remember Gina, the girl I used to make music with?
Yes.
She was like, she was, at some party and we were working on some music. She goes, last night this guy told me about, there's this guy who wrote about some transcripts or something like that, and he said he was telling me that we're created by aliens to mine gold. And I remember like, what? She goes, yeah, he was telling me about this. I go, what's his name? His name was like Jody, because my friend Jody was telling me about this guy, and I'm like, can you call him up? And because it made sense to me, like wait a minute, we were created as slaves to mine gold for this other planet. I was all balls deep in the UFOs, so I called this motherfucker. I go, do you remember what you were telling Gina? And he goes, yeah, there's this guy named Zechariah Sitchin. Look him up. He wrote a book called The 12th Planet. And I'm like, okay. So boom, got into it. I'm like, oh shit, I believe that shit. They got me hook, line, and sinker, man. But yeah. And then
so Eddie, do you think that do you believe that whistleblower, like that he's actually seeing the UFO?
I believe a lot of the people that see UFOs really believe they see it, and they just get set up. I think they're just.
But they're not seeing UFOs. They're seeing
They're
maybe a drone. They
exactly.
don't know the technology.
Holograms, drones, some high level shit. They're pushing it so hard. It's so obvious.
That's
it's
what's
so
weird,
fucking obvious.
is that they're pushing it.
It's so obvious.
When it goes mainstream, I'm like, what's going on here? What
No,
are they trying
dude,
to
come
distract
on,
us
dog.
from?
And then at the same time, the Biden crime family shit's coming out, dog. All that shit where they said Rudy Giuliani was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He's a crackpot.
Yep.
2-3 years ago, they made him look like a fucking crackpot. And all he was doing, he goes, I got the laptop right here. We got it all right here. And the scariest part was they got 51 intelligence officers to sign off on it.
That's
that it's
crazy. How scary
Dude,
is that?
scary. Scary. You had
That's
51
scary.
guys bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
when
scary.
they knew,
Scary.
they knew that it was legit in
Yeah.
2019.
Dude, scary. That's scary
That's
shit.
crazy.
Have you looked up the
And
laptop
what's
shit?
scary is no one is facing any repercussions.
Zero. He got a slap on
What
the
about all
wrist.
those guys?
Not just him. I'm talking about the people who told everyone that it was Russian
Oh,
disinformation.
they suffer no consequences.
And you know what? They stick with it, though, because they're saying that the justice system is corrupt by saying that it's not.
Yeah.
They go, oh, they're lying. So it's just a lot of confusion.
Thank you, Jamie.
Dude, I went to the website where they released all his pictures and shit. That boy, a wild boy. He looks like a good time, I gotta be honest.
Oh,
Hey, can I
Hunter's
have
a
the
wild
ball
boy.
one? Can I have the ball ice?
I'll get
Yes.
some more.
No,
That
that's
is
good.
ball ice, no?
This is not
Oh,
ball
sorry.
ice.
Yeah, you got
I
it.
want the ball ice.
I want the ball too, but I love you.
Thank you.
And you're talking
I owe you.
conspiracies.
I owe you.
I know you conspiracies, the best in the world.
Dude, I'm not, dude, I'm keeping my mouth shut, dog. When 51 intelligence officers say it's Russian disinformation when it's not, and
we
they
know
knew
for a
it,
fact, I know.
scary. What kind of country are we living in? And all the shit they're throwing at Trump, they're trying to get rid of that motherfucker,
Good
dude.
luck.
I just want to say real
Makes it
clear,
bigger.
you are not keeping your mouth shut. What the fuck is that? I'm keeping my mouth shut. It's just fucking rattled
No,
off.
I ain't saying
51
shit.
intelligence
No,
officers.
no, I'm just saying what's already out there.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Dude, I'm just saying what's
Oh, yeah?
already out there,
Yes.
dog.
Fuck
You know what I
Texas
mean?
bourbon.
I'm not trying to get fucking killed. I'm good. I got him. I got plenty.
Hold on, let me get some of that, Joe. Shout out to
is,
Bodega Cat.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Balcones.
They could have, dude. They could have got 10.
hot still bourbon.
Dude, they could have got 10 guys to sign off on it, and that would have been a lot. But
lot.
They went 50 because they know if they get 50, it's gonna be no doubt. Everyone's gonna believe that shit, right? And they stick with it even today. The mainstream media, they still stick with it.
Let me ask you this: why do they still keep singing the national anthem at a boxing fight? Because that shit takes so much time.